Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We talk everything animation here, including Voltron Legendary Defender, which we'll be getting into right now. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Hayley Nabuurs.
Hello.
Justin Cummings.
Hello.
And Steve Zek might be joining us shortly. Today we are talking more about Voltron Legendary Defender Season 7, the entirety of it. Delving more into the season, getting different takes on all of the episodes that dropped on Netflix this Friday. All 13 episodes. We previously had our reactions podcast yesterday. Find that at overlyanimated.com if you want 2 hours of reactions from Delaney, Andy, Alex, and me. Or search for overlyanimated.com or go to overlyanimated.com/YouTube and find us there. But we're getting Justin and Hayley some new takes here and seeing what we liked, best episodes, what we reacted to most, getting into all of that. So make sure you've seen the entirety of the season. Spoilers for all of season 7. We're going to be getting right into it. So make sure you've seen it. Okay. Overall, these are a lot of episodes, but overall, Hayley, what's your take on the season?
I think this season is definitely a step down in terms of quality from the last one, because I remember during season 6, we were all like super excited about it and really neat things were happening and everything. And we actually had a more concrete kind of focus for the season with Lotor in terms of, well, he wasn't really a villain, but he was kind of a villain and then he was a full villain. Whereas this season was kind of meandering, and I can't tell if I like the first half better than the second half. I think I might like the first half better because the second half really just all the episodes bled together for me, and I was not that invested in Earth, which is kind of weird, but I wasn't, or in any of the characters, and I wasn't like, oh, Matt's like, or not, well, I guess Matt, but Pidge's dad, like, oh, what a, like, the hero to save our days, and like, I don't care about him very much, so that much focus on him was not super exciting for me, and I feel like this season, the show kind of lost its, like, the momentum going forward of like, okay, so we're getting to this thing, and dramatic things are happening, and we've got to, like, do all this stuff. It was just kind of meandering, and it went back, because especially in the finale, I know I heard you on the podcast yesterday, Dylan, quite enraged at the just ridiculousness of the finale. Like, all the physics and the kind of interesting complexity that had been building was just blown apart. Like, it was like, it was like, in its truest sense, a mech battle, like, robot fighting show, which it is. And it's fine to be, but it could have gone so much better and has in the past, which is annoying. I think there were some positive parts in it and good episodes, but overall it was, I wasn't like, oh, so exciting, the next episode. It was like, okay, what are we doing now? Let's float through space and then save Earth. So, yeah.
Oh, just that? Float through space and then save Earth? Yeah.
That's pretty much the whole season, I've got to be honest.
Yep, that's a good summary. That is what happened. Okay,
yeah.
So Hayley, a little bit tepid on the season. Justin, what do you think of season 7 overall?
I can definitely, because I was trying to think, I'm like, okay, this does feel really oddly paced, and I tried to think in terms of production. Honestly, I think this would have worked better for the whole 6-7 split than most of the 6-7 seasons did. Agreed. Because 1 through 6 to me, while not a lot happens, I think are very distinct from 7 through 13. I think that right there, right when we hear the distress signal, is where we can switch. Like, that would have been a decent cliffhanger. And so, honestly, I kind of prefer the second half. I'm not much for just floating through space. I mean, yeah, we got good character development, but it wasn't a whole lot that we didn't already know. If anything, I felt like Hunk maybe got some attention that he needed and deserved, but besides that, I wasn't a huge fan. I liked the Earth stuff a lot, actually. I liked the new cadets. I liked the Atlas. I liked all the stuff with that. I liked Shiro's arm going full on Sendak. I liked, I really liked a lot of the Earth people. I actually did, by the end, care a lot more about Pidge's family than I thought I would. But I think Veronica may have become my favorite, especially of the Earth people. And I feel like we're going to set up something with the Earth people. Like, I feel like this was a detour as we head into the final arc. And then they are setting up potentially a sequel series after Legendary Defender using those cadets. That's just my theory, which is why it was a little wonky. But overall, I really liked the season, but especially that back half, I really enjoyed the Earth stuff.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, it's in terms of the 6-7 split, you definitely have non-Earth and then Earth episodes. It would have made sense to split it there. I think probably one of the reasons we didn't do that was because the first 6 didn't really have a lot going on. Like there's not really a thing to build up to like any of the previous seasons.
Getting to Earth?
Yeah, I mean, but that mid-season finale, it's kind of a quiet one floating in space, more of a cerebral finale rather than an action-packed one. It's there's no like big driving force behind the first 6 episodes. Maybe those are some of the reasons we didn't split it. Although, yeah, it did have a good place to do so. So it sounds like Justin was more into the second half, and Hayley might have been more into the first half, which is interesting because last podcast we were split as well on that. Yeah, Hayley, what do you think it was about the first half? Is it just that you didn't care about the Earth stuff? Did you like the specific episodes of the first 6 better?
I think it's a combination. So I think there's a couple episodes in the first half that are like, they're not that exciting. Like the first one, and then I didn't love the feud one, but the third episode, The Way Forward, that one drove me nuts so much because as I was watching it, I was getting so hyped and I was like, awesome. So like Ezor and Zethrid, they're going to be our big bads for the season, and Aksha's back and she's so cool and she got a new haircut and it's like all this stuff is going on. And I love the change of like, we missed 3 years and everything. So I think while I was watching it, I was super excited after that episode and going forward because I was like, okay, so that's going to be the thing. And I think that and the Ruins episode were really, really neat and good. But then they're also kind of disappointing because they didn't pan out into anything, it's conflicting. I think I preferred the first half though, mostly because even though they are kind of just floating through space most of the time, there's different things happening and different characters that we kind of know a bit more and care about a bit more, and interesting things that are building on things that we already know about, like Leda Malmora and seeing what happened in the universe when they've been gone for 3 years. Whereas the last half, the back half, really just was all set kind of in the same couple scenes and with the same group of people. And it just dragged for me. I think as well because it was definitely way more action packed and things like that. And that's not my favorite thing. I much prefer kind of the quieter character moment episodes, which these had moments of that. They weren't phenomenal, but they had a little bit more of it than the giant mech battles. So I don't know. It's tricky. So I think compared to other seasons, these first 6 are definitely like don't hold a candle to like last season, but within the season, I had a better time watching the beginning than the second half. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is it, Justin, about the Earth stuff you think for you? Did you connect with that story more than some of the stuff in the first 6?
I think my thing was once we found out at the end of season 6, like we're going to Earth, I was ready for, time skip. We're at Earth and then we start going from there. I wasn't ready for 6 episodes of pretty much just nothing. I mean, yeah, some stuff happens, but there's, like you said, there's no goal. There's no destination. We're just much like episode 6. We're just kind of floating aimlessly, waiting for something magical to come save us. And once we got to Earth, though, like once Last Stand Part 1 starts, which I think Last Stand Part 1 and 2 might be my highlight of the season. Like, I think that was a really well done episode. And once that starts, I'm like, okay, Sendak's taking over Earth. Like, I still think we're going bigger, but I think Sendak was a good side villain while we get to our ultimate destination. And we have a goal. Goal is to beat Sendak. We know where we're going from here, even though the finale just went really weird, Deus Ex Machina, as far as like, nope, new villain, but there was a goal. And I prefer when I know what we're heading towards, and when it feels like, oh, I've been watching 3 hours of TV, but I made progress. Or the first 6, I'm like, did anything actually really happen? Like, oh, we're passing a different set of stars. Like it didn't feel like much happened to me.
Harsh.
A new
Okay.
constellation.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of what happened. Okay, yeah,
No,
Justin,
it really is.
I found my compatriot in loving The Last Stand parts 1 and 2 because
It's
everyone
so
else is
good.
not liking them. Hayley,
I
what do you
don't
think of
hate
those 2
them.
episodes?
I don't hate them. I really don't. I think they were, once I leaned into like, okay, so Voltron's not here anymore. Like they're gone for 2 episodes. I think they were really tight, which was nice. And they were actually engaging and interesting. And I wish that the rest of the season held me like those 2 did, because those were actually interesting, especially considering that they were about characters that we don't really have that much of a relationship to. That was pretty impressive. I just wish there was more of that. I don't know. It was just like, it felt like it was just so tight. Like they were on it and they were doing things and it was interesting. And it was a new perspective. So I think those 2 episodes were really good, in my opinion.
So for you, was it more of the 9 to 13, just constant battle, constant fighting Sendak episode to episode?
Yeah, I guess I like 1 to 8, I suppose. And then 9 to 13 are just like, okay, Sendak, go away. Like, I don't care about you anymore. I know.
Well, he did go away, so.
He did. Really? I feel like that was kind of like sudden. Like, he didn't have like a moment of being like, no, or very much of it.
Keith just killed him. Really.
Yeah, it's like, is he dead? Like, okay.
Justin, are you upset that Sendak is gone?
I mean, it means we get to Hagar, because, like, we all knew Hagar is the final boss. Like, come on. And so, Sendak gone means we get to Hagar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the biggest Sendak stan, ironically, and I still am happy with getting to Hagar. I think that's
if there's anything I could compare this season to, honestly, it reminds me a lot of Legend of Korra Season 2, where
that's not good.
There's some, overall the season's kind of forgettable. There's some interesting stuff in the beginning. A lot of stuff no one really cares about at the end. We're just happy to finally see the villain be beat. But there's a really great 2-parter stuck right in the middle of the season that we're going to remember.
It really kind of is. That's amazing.
Like, it's very oddly Legend of Korra Season 2. I think still slightly higher quality, especially the back half, because Veronica is my new favorite character on the show. But...
yeah, well, it's easy to make the comparison between The Last Stand and Beginnings, which I'm sure 7 and 8 are. The Last Stand is based on the beginning, so and then it's kind of like the season shifts gears after that middle
because of the information given in the 2-parter. Like, come on, it's
well, I mean,
it's season 2.
I mean, you got you got Tim Hedrick and Josh Hamilton writing both of those, writing on both those seasons. So it's similar territory here. Yeah, I mean, I think the first half of this season is better than Korra Book 2. Similarly,
#Nuktuk Hero of the South.
Yeah, there's no Nuktuk.
I named a Pokemon after him, okay?
What do you mean you named a Pokemon after him?
Well, when I had my Swampert in Pokemon Alpha Sapphire, because it's a water ground type, I named it Nuktuk.
Why are you acting like that's some big deal that you just named one of your 1,000 Pokemon in one video game Nuktuk?
First off, how dare you? It was my starter.
It's an honor. It's an honor for Justin to name
just some random Pokemon. You're just bragging about naming it Nuktuk. Like that's the first your go-to thing of when we talk about Nuktuk is I named some random Pokemon that in one video game. Okay, that's a very Justin thing to do, but I just had to point out much like I had to get into the stupidity of the finale in last podcast. I feel like this is similar. No, Justin naming his Pokemon made a lot more sense than Lion's Pride Part 2.
It was the most mech thing this show has done so far. Of what you thought?
We're jumping around a lot, but I quickly, Justin, what's your take on Lion's Pride Part 2? Because you're the biggest like mecha fan like on the podcast.
Oh my god, it better pay off.
You're a big Power Rangers guy. Like
I am.
Are you? I can't believe I'm the one that brought it up first. Are you? Was this okay for you having giant robots appear with no explanation?
So here's my thing. Power Rangers will often do this where you think the main villain's beaten and then, oh no, a new villain at right at the finale, which I think is awful. I think it's okay here if the next couple of episodes gives us something to work with. Like, how did it time it just right to arrive right when they beat Sendak? No coincidences. I need a good, solid reason because we do have another season. So I want to hate it. I really, really do, but they might give me a good reason why it happened. Until then, I definitely felt like I feel like they just wanted to call it part 2 because it's really not a part 2.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It's only part 2 because they added 5 seconds at the end of the last episode.
So you're saying wait and see, but
I'm saying wait and see, but probably watching
when the Atlas turned into the robot, though, what was your reaction?
Screaming.
Our sixth Ranger gets his own Megazord. Like, duh! It's Power Rangers 101.
That was your reaction. Were you excited? Were you confused?
I was like, seems legit. Kind of figured it was going to happen. I figured eventually Shiro would get a separate vehicle. I figured it was going to be Dark Voltron or...
Did you think he'd literally make Voltron out of a thing that humans made?
I mean, no, but I'm not surprised. I've seen stupider Zord combinations. I've seen stupider mechs. I saw a Mountain Dew machine come a robot once in a movie. Like,
Is that a Mountain Dew machine? Was it a Transformers movie?
It was Transformers.
Okay, yeah. Well, we don't need to stoop to that level. But
yeah,
Haley, what was your reaction? Mechs. You've seen stupider mechs, so but this is not a stupid mech show generally. You would say, right?
No, but I figured eventually Shiro would get his own, and I'm like, okay, it's the Atlas, fine.
Yeah. Okay. So Justin was like, seems legit. Haley, what was going through your head when you watched that happen?
So much. I was confused and shocked. I did have a brief moment where I was like, yay, Shiro, good for you. And then I was like, hold up, wait a second. This is ridiculous. And like how? I know that it has the crystal that came out of the Castle of Lions, which I guess is like our Deus Ex Machina. Just it fixes everything. But it really is ridiculous when you first watch it. And then when you think about it, it's actually angering because the past like season or two and however long, maybe even 3 seasons back, we've had this whole thing where it's like, oh, Lothar, he's going to make like Dark Voltron. It's a big thing. And he had to do all this work to get to it. And then Shiro's just like, I can feel the quintessence, and then makes this ginormous Voltron who is like 25 times bigger than the enemy one, and yet it like goes out like a wimp immediately. Like it had no stand. It was insane. Yeah, it was amazing. I was shocked by all that happened in that. Yeah, and I listened to the podcast yesterday, and I had the same thought as Delaney. It was so thick. It was amazing. Like, the hips don't lie on that thing. It was insane.
Okay, so
that was honestly my immediate thought.
You were into the thickness of the robot. Okay.
I like was like, dang, like what happened?
Justin, what did you think of how thick that robot was?
I've rarely thought about the thickness of robots and whether or not their hips do indeed lie, but I thought it was like the big. Honestly, I was in mecha mode the entire time. I'm like, okay, got it. The special Zord has to be bigger than the others, so of course it's giant. Honestly, I stopped caring at some point where I'm like, got it. We fight the extra monster. We beat that too. Of course, we're not going to lose. Yay, cool. End of season. Done. Bye.
Okay, so you went into checkout mode a little bit, and that made it better. Haley brought up a good point with we spent so long getting to Dark Voltron, because Dark Voltron is a similarly campy concept of like, okay, we're just gonna have the evil version of Voltron, but like we took 26 episodes to get there. Like
they explained it. Yeah. They made it a plot point.
I mean, it still didn't really make sense, but at least like it took a while. Whereas Shiro
there was some emphasis behind it.
Whereas this just kind of happened. In terms of like the scale of how much bigger the Atlas robot was, Justin, how did that come across to you? Were you into that?
It's the same problem that happens in a lot of mech shows, where you end up, as the show goes on, the idea of the transforming robots becomes tiring, and you need to up the ante. So you get more robot combinations, better gear, yada, yada, yada. And eventually the earlier stuff falls to the wayside. And my fear is, now that we have the Atlas, are we gonna see Voltron much at all in the last season? Because why?
Yeah, how can Voltron be outdated? It's our main thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the issue, which is why I'm glad, A, we're waiting until there's only 13 episodes left. B, hopefully there's a lot of character development and problems that can't be solved with giant robots. And C, honestly, I hope they destroy the Atlas soon.
Yeah.
Though the problem was it didn't really do anything, even when it was a giant robot.
It really didn't.
What's the point of What's the point of attacking it? I feel like it was not the problem. In terms of this roe beast that comes in the last episode, are we all on the same page? This is sent by Hagar. Any other theories here?
I mean, probably Hagar.
Yeah,
probably.
And she got to the alternate universe Alteans before the Blade of Malmura could, and that's what's going on.
I like how that was just so glossed over. Like, we only just learned that this whole, like, Altean civilization is saved, and they're like, oh yeah, we got there and they weren't there. And they're like, sweet, cool, moving on. Like, I would be more concerned about
that's
what had happened.
This should be the focus of the season. I feel like I would have said that if I was there, that
was like a big deal last season, with the Alteans are
Lions back.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, so that was strange, but I agree. I think it was probably Hagar. I don't know who else would be, and I feel like it'd be silly of them to introduce yet another villain. At this point, I think that would be kind of ridiculous. And maybe it can be a way of explaining why Hagar was just completely MIA during all of this. Like, where was she? So maybe she was building this thing for some reason and stole an Altean. But yeah.
I guess. We'll need some catching up on Hagar for sure. Justin, any crazy theories for the last season of the show?
All the ships get confirmed. That's my crazy theory. Is we actually get some romance?
All of them.
All of them.
We'll get into
every
ship
this
season.
No, I think that ultimately Alora's going to have to make some kind of decision. Like, she'll have to sacrifice the Altean colony to defeat Hagar. There's going to be some high stakes, massive thing that's like no right answer. She creates her own destiny, straight up Aang style. Like, I don't think this is going to end in a giant firefight like this did this season. I think that the whole show is going to end with some philosophical quandary.
Yeah, I mean, if we're following the Avatar template, that's what we do.
Or heck, at this point, it's almost a modern animation template.
I think so. Yeah, and I don't know. Just thought I had. I hope that we don't kill Hagar in the last season. That's the thought I just had.
Yeah.
Like, let's like do something interesting. Like, let's have her, like, she turns back to Minerva. Like, is she salvageable? Like, what's the effect that the quintessence had on her? Is quintessence itself the ultimate big bad rather than Hagar?
Her consciousness goes into the blue lion, so she and Alora are always together.
Why?
No.
I guess because they're Alteans, yeah.
I don't know, Dylan.
Yeah, I don't mean it makes as much sense as anything else. Okay, let's get back to The Last Stand, because we glossed over this a little bit. Yeah, I mean, we're the only ones saying so good, Justin, because the problems other people had, and as I pointed out that, it's the scene of, Pidge's dad, Sam, correct? Still not 100% sure, says,
pretty sure it's Sam.
Is
Dr.
explaining
Sam.
to Dr. Sam, is explaining the, history of the alien race to the leaders of Earth, I guess, unclear how this new political structure of Earth in the future post World War III works. We're just gonna gloss over World War III. Well, are we gonna learn what happened there? No, probably not. That just means we're in the future.
Or why this one garrison group? Oh, sorry. Why this one garrison group's in charge?
Yeah.
They've said we're going to get books. That's going to be one of the books.
Yeah, World War III on the Voltron world. Yeah, so he's explaining to the garrison, and he's like, okay, so here's the history of the aliens, here's these 5 mechanical lions, here's Voltron, and explains the entire show to them. It was so stupid. I don't know, I found it engaging, though. Like, Justin, can you explain better than me why these were good episodes? Because I've had trouble articulating this, because they're kind of stupid, but at the same time, I liked them.
Here's why these episodes are good. It's because they remind us the universe we're in. They establish the universe of the show specifically in relation to Earth, because we haven't really seen Earth since the pilot of the show. And so it's reminding us that although, because we in our minds, we're very used to, got it, Galra, are these people Alteans, are these people, yada, 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 yada. The Last Stand wasn't meant, to me, if anything was a clip show episode, it was the feud. The point of the feud was to remind you who these people were. The point of Last Stand was not to remind the audience, but to show us just how much more we know than the people on Earth do. And to remind us that we're in a universe where Earth still has had very limited alien contact, even though we're used to humans in space at this point.
Yeah, I got that part.
And so the whole point of the two-parter is to show what mankind's or humankind or Earth, whatever title is best, what the planet's first true alien encounter is like. And I think it nails it. I think it's something that we weren't expecting because we're so used to the aliens on this show at this point that it's weird to go to a place that does not know any of this. But I think it gives us a different perspective. And I think, for one, I think if you don't like militaristic sci-fi, you don't like these episodes because they are very political-oriented, military stratagems and stuff like that, and chain of command. So if you're not into military war kind of sci-fi, I get these are not the episodes for you. But I think that as far as doing a different kind of sci-fi, not the big epic space adventure kind, but more of the grounded, how do we fight this alien, council meetings, stuff like that, I think they did a very good job of it. And I think they introduced some really interesting characters that are gonna do, I think that the cadets are going to have a big role. And I think without this episode, I wouldn't have cared about them because it showed how basically, while our people were gone, these were the ones keeping the Earth safe.
Yeah. Hayley, what was your take on the new pilots and also Veronica? Did you find them engaging?
I thought Veronica was neat. I don't know why, but at first I was like, yeah, you go girl, stand up for yourself. But then she started to kind of rub me the wrong way and was just a little much. I don't know. She was a little much for me. I liked her at first and then she kind of dragged down. And the rest of the pilots, I could not care less about them at all.
How dare you? How dare you?
No, they kept going to them like making quips at each other in the planes. I'm like, I don't care about you. I have no attachment to you whatsoever. So they weren't very engaging to me. Yeah.
No favorite out of the four?
I don't even remember their names.
You don't have to name them, but you could describe them.
Maybe the one, I don't know.
No, can't even. Okay,
no.
We'll come back to you.
None of them really had a moment where I was like, oh, she's cool. Yeah.
Justin, defend the honor of these the new pilots.
Good luck.
Here's the thing: the original.
It's not
Voltron,
a good sign if you start with. So here's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. Let me break this down.
So here's the thing. Here's why I think they're going to be important. The original Voltron show, we only really care about the first run of Voltron with the Beast Voltron, the one we all know is Voltron. There was a second one called Vehicle Voltron. They haven't confirmed this yet, but I have a very strong feeling that since Legendary Defender did so well, we're going to get a show about Vehicle Voltron, which was considered Guardian of the Near Universe, and so it would be more Earth and the surrounding areas, now that Earth has had contact with alien species. And so, if we get Vehicle Voltron, I have a strong feeling that this season was a backdoor pilot to bring in those 4 plus Veronica as the 5 pilots of Vehicle Voltron. So that's why I think they're going to be very important and why maybe they weren't super duper fleshed out, but enough that if we see that there's going to be a new show about them, we're like, oh yeah, those guys. So I think the point wasn't necessarily to make them fully fleshed out characters, but to get you interested enough that you would watch a show about them.
Okay, that's not really what I asked, but it was Justin's calling his shot on the new pilots in the spin-off show here. And I asked to defend their honor. He says they weren't really good anyway, but it's fine. It's fine.
No.
Did you have a favorite of them, Justin, other than Veronica?
I remember the name Kincaid, so I'm going to go with that.
Okay, Kincaid was cool.
Not
he
a
didn't
good
do anything, but yeah, as I said before, I like the blonde female one who's like the logical one. Yeah, that's what I got. Yeah,
that one was also great.
Yeah, so that one, not a good sign when the characters are called that one. We'll see if this. I don't know. I'm skeptical of the spin-off show talk. Like, we're really going to integrate that well into the last. I guess we could. Like, that'd be planning ahead. But we'll see.
The show's almost over. Like, we're nearing the end enough that if they do it, I think that having them introduced in like season 7 is smart, but also they don't necessarily have to. So I think it's less definite and more of, if we wanted to, we have these people here we can use.
Yeah, it would be a smart move for DreamWorks, but we'll see.
More toys.
Well, that's the motivation as always. Let's talk shipping as we brought up a little bit earlier. So the two main ships that we approach this season are Allura and Lance. One episode this season had Allura and Lance, and then we had Keith and Aksha. Aksha comes back to Earth for Keith.
I'm so down for that ship.
Okay, why are you on board for Keith and Aksha?
Okay, here we go. So Aksha, amazing character. I love her so much. She's so cool, and she's like totally in her own, and it's great. So she's awesome. And then I really like what they're doing with Keith now. He's really neat and all moody and dark and has like a space wolf, which was honestly the highlight of the season for me. And they're just so cool. They're so cool. And I feel like they get along with each other and they're sweet. And like, I totally buy it, like when whatever their faces were, her, ex-allies, were going on about like, oh, you always liked him. Like, I was like, yeah, I can believe it. And when they were fighting each other, they just look like they're so perfect for each other. And I'm totally down for it. And I think they would make each other very happy. And would be a cool team running around the universe.
Cool team. Okay.
Yeah.
Haley and Delaney are captaining this ship of Keith and Aksha.
Gladly.
Are you joining them, Justin?
I'm happy to be a passenger on board the ship. I don't feel a need to take responsibility and man the ship, but I will happily come aboard and enjoy your mimosas.
Okay, so Justin's like, sure, whatever. That's
It's
his
a good
reaction
ship.
to the Keith
It's a
and Aksha.
strong ship.
Yeah. What about Lawrence, Justin?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Why?
I'm captaining that boat. That is
Why?
my ship. Because we're finally at a point where I would be okay. Like, it's like I said last season. Like, I think we're finally at a point where it's not. I mean, yes, it was still obvious from the beginning that they were kind of going in that direction, but we're not at a point where it's, oh, Lance is the cute one, Allura is a female, they have to end up together. Like, I feel like they finally have, if they want to do that ending, which I think they have for a while, I feel like they've earned it. So I feel like Lance is at a point where he could do well in a relationship, where he understands. I feel like when Lance joined the show, or he joined Voltron, he just wanted to like have a pretty girl to show around the line and give a smooch. Whereas now I feel like Lance could understand the responsibility of a relationship, and I feel like Lance could carry that. And I feel like Allura is at a point where she likes Lance as well. I don't think we focus on that as much, but I do think she likes Lance. And I do feel like she is at a point where she understands that Lance has changed. She sees the growth he has had, and that he is someone she would want to spend time with in a non-professional setting. And
is it a work relationship? I guess
and truly be with outside of work. Like, I feel like I feel that both of them like each other genuinely now, and not just passing attraction. I feel like they've spent enough time and space that if it was just infatuation, it would have worn off. And I feel like now's the time where both of them are at a place where this could happen. So let's do it.
They need to disclose their relationship to HR. Is that Shiro?
No, HR is Karan.
Yeah,
I need Karan to provide like paperwork to Lance of like
he would deny it.
You may not kiss in the line, as that is work property. Like,
yeah, I agree. Let's do that. Yeah, okay. Steve Zach is now joining us. Hello, Steve.
Hello.
Okay, yes or no, Allura, Steve? Are you on board?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm more into the Keith Aksha thing, but...
Okay, yeah,
I'm
talked
sorry,
about Keith.
We can't hear you. Oh, Steve's gone, everyone. I'm sorry. No, oh no. No.
Wow.
It's the best, okay?
We talked about Keith Aksha, Steve. So you're into that one.
Oh, yeah. I just think it's very interesting. I think they have good enough chemistry, and I also feel so bad for Aksha for all like the emotional like stuff Lothar did to her. So she deserves a little nice little rebound person after all the stuff with Lothar. And I love the whole part though when I love Romelia. I kind of wish though when Aksha and Allura were sort of talking and bonding about how Lothar kind of messed with their minds, that she would have been like give a funny face of, he didn't manipulate me. I knew he was a scumbag from the beginning. Like,
Yeah. Okay. So Keith, I feel like any ship involving the generals, Steve is into. So I'm not that surprised. He's on board the Keith and Aksha ship.
And I love her new design, though. Her post time skip, man, she looks very good.
Yeah, different look for Aksha. Were you digging Aksha's new look, Hayley?
Oh, I loved her new look. Her hair was so cool.
Yeah,
and that's part of what tipped me off. That I was like, something's up. Like her hair's longer. Things are going on. Yeah, no, she's really cool. She's always been cool, but I feel like she now is like going rogue and is independent, which was awesome.
Yeah, what are your brief thoughts on Allurance, Hayley? On board or no?
I don't know. It doesn't do a lot for me, and I'm not like passionate about it as well. I feel like I'm the same as you, Justin. Like I'll have mimosas on the ship, but
thank you.
I won't stay for very long. But
wow, bailing on it.
Yeah, no, it's like it's
my alcohol
it's whatever.
leave. Wow.
Yeah. No, but I think I agree with you though, Justin. I think I'm definitely more on board with it now than I would have been a couple seasons ago. I think it's more believable even now, and Lance has grown up a little bit. It's still not like, I don't know. I don't care very much about what their romantic endeavors are. But hey, if they like each other, cool, whatever. I'm not there to stop them. Like, just let it happen.
I mean, yeah, we're literally not there to stop them.
No,
Yeah,
not at all. Not at all.
All of what Justin said is true, and that's what the show is going for. But
yeah.
I still don't
Now,
really care.
It's just like,
Justin, I won't be coming on board the ship even for one drink. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
bold.
Now,
I'm just like I still think Allurance is the most tolerable of the Allura and male ships, but I still don't want it.
now all this to be said, if they want to subvert it and have Allura and Veronica,
oh yeah,
I'm also on board.
I
thought they were gonna do
Fine.
anything is better than Veronica and what's his name? That other new guy, the guy who bullied Keith.
None of us have been able to name them, Steve. So maybe I don't think you stand any chance.
Is it
Griffin,
I'm like Lance. Lance in that
So no
Family
more
Feud
names.
episode.
We're gonna play a game with Steve at the end. So don't name any more characters. Okay. Yeah, Steve, give us your 30-second thoughts on the season as a whole since you just got here, and whether you like the first half or the second half better.
Oh, I kind of like the second half better because it has more of a ongoing plot here, more direction. But I love the Family Feud episode. So the feud episode.
Yeah. Okay. So you just liked more of the plot direction and the Earth stuff.
Yeah, and that one super out there comedy episode, the one Andy liked a lot.
Yeah. Well, that could be any season of Voltron you're describing. The super out there comedy episode that Andy liked. Briefly, we haven't done these yet. Around the horn, what's the best episode of the season, or your favorite? Like, which stands out to you the most, Hayley?
I think either The Way Forward or The Ruins for me. I think because they involve characters that I actually found interesting and played into the whole time skip element, which all through the first half, I was getting a lot of like Doctor Who vibes, and I was totally there for it. Yeah. So I think Way Forward and The Ruins are my favorite. They were neat little episode storyline plots that at the time I thought were going to lead to really interesting, more diverse things, but didn't. But on their own, I still think they're strong.
Nice. Okay. Justin, what's the best one?
I'm going to go either Last Stand as a whole or The Feud, just because I love
Feud.
when they do weird stuff like that.
Okay. Justin, I hate to bring this episode up, but is this better or worse than the Voltron show?
What, The Feud?
Yeah.
I'd say
This isn't a hard question.
it's on par.
Oh God. Okay.
No.
Justin and Andrew love the Voltron show for context. It's much better than the Voltron show. Come on. Just Steve, best episode.
Oh, The Way Forward had my favorite. Like Aksha came back, had the Igigzor and Zetro, who names I finally learned because they actually
didn't even get it right just now. But okay.
Close enough.
Close enough. Yeah. See, the Lotor's Generous episode, Steve.
Well,
Steve, give us your take about Ezra and Zethrid's fate, because I've been saying they died, and you.
I think they're probably still alive. I think they left a perfect place that if we never see them again and assume they're dead. That's believable. But if they come back, it's also believable. And I'm glad I know their names because until now, I just been confirmed them as the Ty Lee one and the Jasper one. So
you're not wrong.
Ezra is still the Ty Lee one, always. But yeah, it's ambiguous enough that they could do whatever with it. Where's our Ezra and Zethrid lesbian space pirate spin-off show?
I need to see more of that.
I need that.
Like, they can't die.
I need that. I'm more invested in their relationship than Shiro and Adam.
Yeah, okay, that's a good transition into we haven't talked about Shiro and Adam yet. So we talked about that extensively on the last podcast. We don't need to get into the intricacies of it as square representation. Go to about 49 minutes since the first podcast if you want to listen to extensively about that.
In depth.
But what was your personal reaction to seeing what happened with Adam, to hearing that Shiro's gay? Justin, walk us through how you personally connected to what was on screen.
I'm so torn on whether or not. Okay, first off, I think that the storyline worked. I think that there was kind of this pressure on it because, it's the first time we're seeing a same-sex relationship in Voltron that, it maybe didn't live up to the expectation. But I think on its own, taken out of that context, I think it worked just fine. Because this show hasn't dealt with romance of any kind extensively, I think it was fine. I think maybe they could have done a little bit more. Maybe like one more flashback, but I don't think it was as big a focus as we thought it would be. And whether or not the show led us to believe that, I think it's because we saw it in the clip from San Diego Comic-Con. We assumed it would be a bigger part of the season, and it wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
But all in all, I thought it was fine. I wasn't upset by it. I think that it opens the door for some great Shiro Keith down the line.
Okay, so is that your true ship, Shiro and Keith?
I mean, always.
What do you mean always? This isn't part of the established Justin canon.
It's not.
No.
I feel like when Voltron started, I was less unabashed in my pansexuality, and now I admit that I see myself in Keith and the hot-bloodedness, and I'm like, well, I want Shiro, so Keith wants Shiro.
But Shiro's like his dad, kind of.
So you're saying you're self-inserting into Keith.
And he's getting more older. Shiro, his gray hair is aging rapidly.
That's like saying because Elsa has white hair, she's old. No,
it's a very similar situation.
It's anime style, not old.
Similar to a lesbian character in the anime Darling in the Franxx, who is also rapidly aging.
But
still need to watch that. Not going to. But
it's not that good. But I'm watching it to get
hot takes.
But I'm getting that. But I watch it just to support a second season of Little Witch Academia.
Yeah. Okay, Steve. Calm down. It's Shiro and Keith. It's like, you could interpret it as problematic because it's like this older mentor figure. But I also think that there's, if they're older and the relationship has changed, there's a way it could work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it is interesting. That's Justin's OTP. Oh, by the way, briefly, Justin, was there any character you connected with this season? Very memorably last season, you had the hots for Hot Dad, Keith's dad last season of Voltron.
I mean, yes, like, oof.
Was there any Hot Dad equivalent this season?
I mean, Veronica.
Okay.
Like, the moment they introduced Veronica, I'm like, hello, who are you? And then I thought she died, and I'm like, oh. And then she was alive and Lance's sister, and I'm like, ooh.
Does that make her more appealing to you that she's Lance's sister?
Yes, because it means she can put up with him. She can deal with my crap. Like, oof.
I'm with you, Justin.
She can handle losers.
I'm with Justin.
That's not how that works.
I love Veronica, and like I said, she's the reason why I think we should not write off Ezer and Zethra being dead, because if she can survive that, then anything's possible. Okay,
that's fair. Justin, we got a brief Hot Dad appearance in visiting the grave of Hot Dad. Were you sad by that?
I was like, oof, rest in peace. I miss you.
You miss Hot Dad. Okay. And what was my question originally before I got sidetracked here? I'm trying to.
Who do I have the Shiro and Adam.
Oh yeah, Shiro. Yeah, okay, Shiro and Adam. Yeah, Hayley, what was your reaction to seeing Shiro and Adam this season?
So I somehow completely zoned out of the world and had no clue this was coming. So I didn't have any expectations going in. And I was really excited when it happened. I was like, oh, that's so cool. And like, it makes sense and everything. I'm really upset though that they just killed him off. Like, I think it would have been way more satisfying if he had shown up again, even just once more in real life. That would have been interesting. And I actually just I was looking at the show on Netflix before we started, and the new like title card thing for it is Shiro and Adam standing dramatically back to back, looking like forlorn lovers with the earth behind them. And it's like, we saw him one time. Like, calm down. It looks like
twice if you count him being obliterated.
Yeah, right. His picture. Yeah.
He was the pilot that died that we saw.
I know. I didn't even realize that till later.
It's like they're clickbaiting.
Yep.
Really.
Yep.
Yeah.
Haley, so did you know that you didn't know that Shiro was going to be gay before you started watching the season?
No clue. That came out.
Okay, so when you saw episode 1, did you interpret it as Adam being Shiro's significant other?
So, when they first walked in, my immediate thought was, oh, they're roommates. And then I was like, but that's weird. That doesn't make sense. And then I was like, oh no, they're passionate lovers. Like, they love each other so much.
Okay, so you figured it out from the scene.
I could figure it out, but I feel like if I wasn't like eager to see that in entertainment, I wouldn't have picked it up. You know, there was only that one line where Adam said something about how I won't be here when you come back or something. Like, a buddy wouldn't say that. Like, your bro wouldn't be saying that to you. So I think that really cued it to me. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So they're together. That's awesome. And I think it adds an interesting dimension to Shiro's character. And I like that in the next scene, Keith like knew about Adam. Like they mentioned him, how they had been talking, but I wish there was more of that. Like, if he was just name dropped a little bit more or something, or if Keith even said anything about him.
Because we never saw them. Like, I get why there wasn't like. I mean, obviously the question is, why wasn't there a kiss? There wasn't a kiss because they were arguing. Yeah. But why didn't we then get another flashback to some happy, like the scene at the gravestone? You hear like 2 sobs of like and then cut. Like, yes, it's sad, and I'm sad for Shiro, but like, we don't see the impact of that at all. We don't see a memory. We don't see anything. We don't see a reference later. We don't hear him talk about it. We get 2 sobs, and that's the entire resolution.
2 sobs.
What?
2 sobs. Yeah, the reason we don't have a kiss is because they cut it. They censored it. Yeah.
Maybe we'll get some more stuff season 8, some more Shiro's feelings.
Yeah, that's the hope, is that we expand upon this in season 8 at all.
That's anything.
I don't know.
Steve, what was your brief reaction to Shiro, Adam?
I thought it was all right. I tell you though, I was really sad for Adam's death. Like I said, I could forgive the Admiral for betraying the Earth and to the Gara and all stuff, but having Adam killed, unforgivable.
That's that was the unforgivable action from her.
They did not need to
her first sin. Yeah, no, they didn't need to. Yeah. He could have been there when they came
and
back.
She is like, I don't know what you talked about before, the Raiko of the show, and maybe even worse than Raiko.
Yeah, what's your obsession with comparing her to Raiko?
Who's Raiko?
But it's the same people that made the
Korra,
show.
President Raiko from
Oh,
Legend of Korra.
got it. I was thinking Admiral Zhao for some reason. I'm sorry.
Well, that's
confused. Wait, hold on, Justin. Did you just confuse Zhao with literally any other character?
Yeah,
that is.
How dare you?
An offensive. How dare you confuse Zhao with? Anyway, it doesn't matter who it is.
How dare I? You're right.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Someone compared someone to Zhao. Oh yeah. Sendak. Is Sendak the Zhao of the show, Justin?
I mean, probably.
No, but he's not as good. Yeah. Okay. So Steve, Raiko. Yeah.
Yeah. Raiko. Yeah. She's Raiko because she always makes the wrong decisions. They never once had her like make the right decision. It's the same thing you do with Raiko. I mean, and these are the same people that made these 2 shows. So I guess that's their style.
Yeah, I mean, I think she gets a redemption at the end that Raiko kind of never got, but yeah.
But I do feel that maybe in her younger days, she probably was an awesome character, was like an awesome soldier and stuff, and that her redemption was her finding her old self one more time before she died.
Rip. Yeah, probably was a great pilot and stuff like that. Yeah, okay. Let's, Justin, anything else jump out to you to talk about from the season?
I mean, Beebo Beep.
Yeah. Okay. The feud. Yeah. What was your favorite part of the feud?
The clear Bob Barker references about spaying and neutering your animals.
Okay, that was a good one.
Oh.
Also, he was very similar to the Family Feud host with
not
hitting
flirting
on
with
everyone.
flirting with Hagar. I love that.
Yeah.
He has good taste.
Oh, you're into Hagar, Steve?
She's very good. She's very
Hashtag not
attractive.
hot dad.
Okay.
Hot grandma. So
That
that's
was
what
what I love
is.
though is I love like the next episode they did a Seinfeld reference.
Yeah, in the Bebo B, they had the Seinfeld reference. You were into that, Steve?
Yes, you should know that. Anyone who follows
Yeah.
who on our Discord should know that.
Yeah, Steve just links Seinfeld videos all the time. Okay, Steve, I want to in the realm of the feud, I want to put you as Lance in the situation and have you remember character names from Voltron. Okay, because I feel like we're speaking to you this scene where Lance couldn't remember anyone's name because Steve never can remember anyone's name. So yeah, Steve, let's start easy here. Who is? We already mentioned them on the show. Who is the Ty Lee one? What is her name?
Ezor.
Okay, you got it. You said it better than you did before when you were trying. Okay.
Yeah, I was mad rush. I said it that way. You probably maybe
Ezor.
just came off wrong. I was too jacked up.
Too jacked up. Okay. We mentioned his name several times already. Who is the main villain of the second half of the season? The mouse guy.
The mouse guy. Oh,
Yeah.
Sendak.
Sendak. Okay, we started easy. Those are. Okay, we said his name already on the podcast. Who's the leader of the new pilots, Steve? What's his name?
Oh man, this is. I just remembered it just now, and now Griffin.
Griffin. Okay. Who's the other male on the team?
Okay, now you got me.
No, can't. Justin, who's the other male?
Kincaid?
Kincaid, yeah, there you go.
Okay, I
Yeah.
remember Leaf's daughter. That's
Leaf's daughter. Okay, there you got that one. Who's the other female on the new pilots?
P daughter.
P dot? What?
P
No,
daughter.
I don't know who she is. I don't know her name either, but that's.
I thought she had also a daughter name, like at the end. Like
No,
I
I
thought
don't
that.
think there was a naming schema. No. Yeah, it's. Who else? Who else should we ask Steve about the names of the show? Steve? Who's our main villain of season 1 of the show? who's the original villain?
Oh come, Zarkon.
Zarkon. Okay, you got.
Yeah,
Zarkon.
give me more credit.
No, you have not earned that for credit. Justin, do you have any names you want Steve to guess?
No, I think I'm all right.
Okay, who's the admiral's
too many characters.
name?
I don't.
What's her name, Steve? The admiral from the season.
Oh, Sanda.
Oh, okay. I think you're prepared for this.
Well, maybe because I remember her because I kind of really mad at her.
Yeah. What do you think of the aliens that were referenced in episode 13? The Komar. Did anyone remember the Komar?
No.
Justin, you a big Komar fan?
No.
No. No one. They said it twice, and I still didn't know. Okay. Let me think of any more names to have Steve guess. Who's Pidge's dad's name in this season?
Oh,
Steve.
Sam.
Okay. What about Pidge's brother?
Matt.
Oh, okay.
Pidge's mom.
Pidge's mom. What's Pidge's mom's name?
Oh, I know that. It starts with a C.
Does it?
Kali?
No, I'm pretty sure it's not that. I don't remember either, though.
I'm Googling.
You're Googling. What's Pidge's
Colleen.
original? Colleen.
Colleen.
Okay.
Oh,
Colleen.
you were
Oh, it
close.
was Colleen. Yeah. Steve, Pidge's original name, Steve.
Katie?
Katie. Okay. So we have Steve has turned a new leaf here. Leaf's daughter. New Leaf's daughter, Steve has turned. So I fully expect you to remember every name from now on the show.
Right. All right. I will get on that.
Okay.
Who pilots the Red Lion currently?
Well, that's a different thing.
Oh,
That's hard to remember who's where.
That's Lance.
No, it's
I-
Bebo Beep.
It's Bebo B? Okay. Yeah, I think Bebo was the answer
Yeah.
to all these questions. Yeah, I don't even know who pilots. There's no indication of who piloted who. Well, I guess they were in their lines at several points, but
Oh.
yeah, it's confusing. Okay. Justin, final thoughts on the season of Voltron.
I feel like we're setting up for the finale more than anything. This just kind of felt like a detour. It was good, but not what I wanted
Okay. Now
or
you want,
expected based on
but
season 6 finale.
Yeah, but excited for the last season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't killed my excitement, and that's important.
Okay, that's good. I think, judging by fan reaction, others have killed their excitement, but that's okay. Hayley, what's your final thoughts here?
I think it was kind of a letdown after the last season, but that was almost kind of expected because we lost Lotor. But I was definitely, it sucked because I had hope for it when we had that time skip and then Ezra and Zethrid and Akshel showed up and I was like, oh, okay. So I think that would have been a much more interesting storyline. I agree with Justin though. I think it was kind of like a in-between season, hopefully leading to interesting things. I am excited to see what's up with the Altean that was inside that Robeast. So I guess that's a good thing to end on. But yeah, it won't stand out to me as a very exciting season of the show, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay. Steve, final thoughts.
I feel I might like the season more than I should. And I feel funny. We finally get a 13-episode season. I do feel episode 1 through 6 and 7 through 13 feels like different seasons. If there was a season to split in half, it would be this one.
Yes, we discussed
it. And maybe I'm biased because you gave me something I was waiting for, which is more focus on Lotar's generals. I mean, Axia's finally on our side, and we actually get some focus, at least for one episode, on Ezur and Zethroth. And they're finally interesting, and they might be dead, so...
Yeah. Okay, Steve, please name the name of the Jasper one again. You didn't get it right there.
Oh, maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm not pronouncing it right. I'm not good. Zethroth.
Nope. Zethrid.
Zethrid. Oh.
Okay, there you go. We got there at the end. Yeah. Oh, I thought of one more too.
All right.
We could ask.
Go ahead.
No, I don't remember. I gotta remember what it was, but.
I save it for next season.
Okay. I got it. Okay, what's the name of the wolf? What do we name the wolf this season?
The best character of the whole season.
Oh, okay.
The wolf's name isn't Veronica?
No. Let me get. I don't know. Sparkle?
No,
not at all.
It's Twilight Sparkle. Yes.
I'll give you a hint. Wanda and.
Cosmo?
Oh,
yes, Cosmo. Cosmo Kramer. That's Seinfeld again, Steve. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and my thoughts are the same as yesterday. This was a thing. Let's hope for great stuff next season. Although there's still some good stuff here. And
one more hot take though. I think maybe in the future epilogue, I kind of wouldn't mind though if Keith and or Exar are like the new running Galra, pretty much the Galra power couple.
Keith gonna lead the Galra. Okay.
Yeah, why not?
That can happen, sure.
I prefer maybe Axia maybe becomes the Galra person, and he's like his first lady, like something like.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going with that. Yeah.
Keith
and Aksha running the Galran Empire. Okay, hot prediction from Steve heading into season 8. So we'll see when we get season 8 of Voltron.
Confirmed this year.
Is it confirmed this year?
I'm hoping after Comic-Con, New York Comic-Con, maybe because they might have one more panel there. I always go to Baltimore Comic-Con panels. Are so much fun.
Yeah, I think they'll definitely go to New York Comic-Con and premiere an episode. I think if it is this year, it's going to be in the November range. Have to imagine, right? They're not going to power it out again this soon. But the season was super soon.
Going to be probably Thanksgiving to December.
I would assume so. But yeah, that's exciting though if we get the finale of Voltron this year. Exciting stuff. So let us know what you thought of season 7 of Voltron in the comments, overlyanimated.com, or on YouTube, overlyanimated.com/YouTube. You can find the video and comments there if you're listening. So make sure to subscribe to us, not miss future of Voltron podcast. Probably done with season 7 coverage, but we'll see. We'll see if there's anything that we're dying to talk about. You can talk about it with us on Discord, overlyanimated.com/Discord, and support us via Patreon, patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to all our current patrons, especially our patrons of the podcast. New patron Kathleen, who we don't have a nickname for yet, but we'll work on that. Thank you, Kathleen. And yep, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. We will see you next time. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.